have you all here again with us today. I'm Devin Howard on Instagram as @DevinHoward.
I'm Jackie Ray everywhere at JRay the Fanatic.
And I'm Britt Johnson. You can follow me on all social media at @IamBrittJohnson.
Hey, it's your boy Chris. You can find me everywhere at CK2K.
Yes.
Felt you did good that time.
Yeah, that was great. Loved it. Good energy. So today we're going to be getting into a couple of updates for you, Bradley Beal, and what he meant by those comments that he made about staying with the Wizards. We're talking about the Warriors and how much they're worth. We're also getting into Charles Barkley and where he stands on the Rookie of the Year debate. And finally, we have to talk about the Warriors and coronavirus, actually the NBA altogether and coronavirus. I know you guys are kind of sick of hearing about the coronavirus updates, but it's important as fans, especially if you have tickets to an upcoming game, because you may not be able to go.
If you're that scared,
Can you
should
guys
sell
see
them.
us now? Because you guys are saying turn on the cam.
Don't listen to the trolling.
You guys good?
That's
Okay.
that definitely.
Oh, you can't see our
I can
beautiful
see
faces.
y'all that you can see us.
Okay, so what do you guys have coming up for us today, too?
We were talking about weight before we started the show, and I actually have a really in shape, out of shape guy that got winded during a fight. It's a lot of fun.
In shape, out of shape guy.
He's really in shape, but he's out of shape.
Yes.
You'll see.
That sounds like a wet WTF moment to me.
Fact.
It's a
For sure.
WTF, sure. It's like my future. I was like, okay, I need to take better care of myself.
I got net stuff. Yeah, the New Jersey Nets. I got their kind of stuff. I got a turtle that I'm very excited to talk about.
I love that turtle.
And there was a dope game winner that happened last night.
And obviously, Britt's takes. You guys gotta wait. Nobody guessed it in the chat. I asked you guys earlier what you guys thought I was gonna talk about. Nobody got it right. I doubt any of you guys would get it right. But it's gonna be a good one.
Nice. All right. Well, before we jump in, I read something this morning that I wanted to get your opinions on. So obviously, you guys know that Dwayne Wade's son Zaire plays with Sierra Canyon along with Bronny, but apparently Zaire hasn't been actually able to play in their CIF games. So D Wade went on TNT and said that he's not going to go support the games. He's pissed at the coach, Andre Chevalier.
Get your LeVar on, Dwayne. Get your LeVar on.
How you do it? No.
That's how AAU parents are. It's just now Dwayne Wade is on camera.
This isn't AAU. This is high school basketball.
Same thing. Trying to get his kid into college, man.
Yeah.
I ain't mad at it.
I'm
Go
not mad
ahead,
at
Dwayne.
it either, but
Well, I'm glad that you guys are chiming in because I wanted to know where you stand on this. Was it smart for Dwayne Wade to kind of out Coach Chevalier on national television? Was this a bad idea? Is this the time when he really should be showing up and showing support for the team to kind of get his son back in there?
He probably shouldn't be, but I'm for it because I watched my little brother through the high school circuit, through AAU, and I know I would be the exact same way because my little brother was good. So if there was ever a moment when he's not game playing time in key games like this, I'd be saying the same. If I'm on TV, like I had this show, and I knew that his coach was watching, I'd be saying the same thing. I'd be like, I ain't gonna hold you up with your Brit takes, but yo, man, coach over there in Yo Berlin, you should be playing my brother. So I would do that. I'm just saying, like, no, it's probably not the right thing, but at the same time, I get it.
That is so silly. Like, if your kid isn't at the level to play, then he don't get to play.
But
like,
he is, though. It's just also at the same time,
that's
the
the
team is
coach
stacked.
to make that decision.
Well, high school
so.
coaches are corrupt, too. That's another
I
concept
don't
for
think
another
Andre
day.
Chevalier is corrupt, though.
I don't
Do
think he
you?
is either. But at the same time, I 100% agree with Dwayne Wade. I would do the same thing.
Yeah.
I would definitely make enough noise, and I would bark, and I would be very visible. I understand that you guys are saying I see you guys in the chat saying, "Oh, that's a bad example to set," but we also live in a time where participation trophies are a thing.
Well, that's not a thing either.
Right,
but
but
obviously,
I think, especially if I know my kid has talent. Now we're saying right now maybe he's not up to par, but I don't believe that.
I don't
believe
believe
that at all.
Yeah, that's definitely not the case
so if I
at
know
all.
that my kid is able to play, especially if I'm coaching him, I'm Dwayne Wade.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm gonna make some noise. I'm gonna act a certain type of way, and I'm gonna get it done.
But the team played in the state championship game, so clearly the coach knows what he's doing with his lineup on his team. So I just think to step in and try to step over somebody, especially when you have that platform, that's not fair because there probably are tons of other kids that are way better than Zaire, and they don't have a dad that is on national TV that can say something. So I just think that's a not fair way to use your advantages that you have. That's not just because it's your kid, that shouldn't make your kid get pulled before any other kid.
Yeah,
That probably
I love
is
that
better.
sentiment, and
That's
but that's just not the world we live in. I would definitely be the clapper. And here's the thing: if I was on that team, if my kid I thought was better than Zaire, and I know, like you said, I don't have the Dwayne Wade platform, so I can't necessarily make as much noise.
But they make themselves heard.
Exactly.
Those dads make themselves heard.
I would be all over social media, Instagram, tagging everybody and they
Dwayne Wade was nice about it.
You would know who I am.
Yeah.
Compared to some of these dads, Dwayne Wade was nice about it. I'm telling you, man, some of these dads are reckless in the coach's face saying these kind of things. They'll say some
let
vicious
those
stuff.
moments happen, then fine. But you don't need to go on national TV when other people don't have that platform to do that for their children.
That's
like,
not my fault.
I kind of feel the same way.
That's not the kid's fault. Like,
Right,
that's not
but I mean, everybody has
You're
a
a
platform.
grown person. Stay out of kids' stuff.
But
That's
it's
their
your
career. That's
kid,
their lives.
but-
That's D-Wade didn't have his daddy like on national TV to pull him out and be great and stuff like that. That doesn't matter. If you're great, it's gonna be shown. People are gonna see it. There's guys that are way better than anybody that plays street ball. We still know who the like big time street ballers are. That's why And One was started, so we could find all these guys that were like in the corners of Brooklyn doing all these moves and stuff. Like,
I don't know. If I have the platform, I'm going to use it, especially if it's to advance my family.
We have a comment in here that I just want to call out. I love also that this conversation, this was me just like reading about it and finding it interesting.
Oh, yeah, I saw it too.
It got heated. I like this. We have someone in here who says, honestly, every parent thinks their kid has talent. We can't all scream about it. Support the team as a whole in public. Speak to the coach in private.
Exactly.
Who wrote
And
that?
I feel
do you have a kid? The
Man.
person who wrote that. I
don't have kids either.
But I
Like I said,
have
I've
like
been through
5
it.
godnephews. You know what I mean? And I am the
No.
loudest. People all think they're
You
mine.
can cheer for your people, like great, do all
That's
that
so
kind of
sweet,
stuff.
But
though,
look,
you
but
don't
that's
need
not
to
how
go
it works
on.
in the actual at those games.
I mean,
That's
that's
not
how
how that
our
works.
entire world works. We literally have a
And that's-
political
like,
system
that's
that
true,
the
too.
bigger
Okay,
your
so then
platform
just add
is,
to the
way that
problem.
it is.
Great.
It's
Instead of
it's
changing
the
it
way
and trying
life
to be-
is.
No, life is
That's
the way you
competition,
make
man.
it. Period.
No, I
That's
mean,
competition,
but
man.
look, it's called advantages. We
That
call
is
it
not
privilege
like I'm
sometimes.
sorry having
It is
somebody's
what
dad
it
come in
is.
and say something is not part of the competition. You being out
100%.
there and playing one-on-one with somebody, that's
See, here's the
competition.
thing. Here's an advantage. You have an advantage because you're Dwayne Wade's kid, because Dwayne Wade has an understanding of basketball that's different. You have an advantage because Dwayne Wade has a platform. I get that not everybody has the same advantages, but that's not Dwayne Wade's problem. His problem is his kid.
Yeah,
And that's it.
I get why he would be upset that his kid isn't playing. I understand
like
that.
the follower said, go talk to the coach in private.
Yeah, I feel like talking to the coach in private is probably the best way. I feel like Zaire was probably embarrassed that his dad even did this, knowing that he has all these friends on the team and his name is going to be involved
and then
in this
now it's
conversation.
like, oh, wish my daddy was D-Wade so he could go on national TV.
But he ain't.
I know. Now you get the now he becomes that kid at school.
I'm sure Lonzo
No, now
Ball,
he
LaMelo
becomes-
Ball, and LeAngelo Ball were so embarrassed by their dad.
I
saying
think
all this.
Lonzo was.
No, he was not.
Yes, he was.
I
He
think
came
they
out
were.
and
I
said
mean,
stuff like that.
without Lonzo, without LeVar, we're not talking about the Ball brothers the way we have been. And that's just
they
a
all
fact.
said the same
No,
thing.
that's
Like, that's
true.
my
No,
dad.
No,
He's always
the
been
first
like that.
time we ever covered the Ball family was because they had that crazy game where he scored like 81 points. The
No.
kid, the
92.
kid is the reason why we started talking about the Ball family, not the dad. The dad was screaming in the bed. Nobody ever heard him. It was
The
what
dad
the
continued the
kid
conversation.
did on the
I'll give you
court is why we started covering them in the first place. Nobody covered them until Melo had that 92-point game. Yes.
All right, well, I don't want to get this conversation too carried away. I feel like it's safe to say that Zaire probably won't be going to Sierra Canyon next year. Maybe he will, but I'm just going to put it out there and say I don't think that's going to happen. But let's talk about Bradley Beal, because he's not going anywhere, you guys. He's staying with the Washington Wizards.
Tore us up last night. Go ahead, Brad.
Sigh in your
Tore
voice.
us up.
He clarified what he meant about wanting to build a team around him with the Wizards. He says that he feels leaving a team and jumping ship is the easy way out. So basically, he really is truly wanting to stay there and retire and not leave. But people on Twitter were reacting pretty negatively to this statement. And they were saying things like, what if they don't build a team around you? You're going to waste your entire career. They're not building a team around you. Yeah.
I'll give you that.
They were saying things like, this is the type of thing an athlete says just before they jump ship. So is this
That's
his
that's
way?
very true.
Yeah, so people are wondering, is this his way of like showing a pretend kind of loyalty to the Wizards? I know we've talked about this before, but this is actually, you know, kind of an update. So what's your thoughts?
I don't know if it's a pretend loyalty, but it might be a ploy, though. It might be this whole, okay, I'm staying here. You need to build this team around me, because if you don't, then you're making me look like a jackass, and I gotta bounce.
I prefer this statement than the ones that he's been saying in the past, because this one is at least a little bit more believable. Like Devin just said, it normally leads to that person then jumping ship when his chance comes up. But at least this is a lot more, to me, I feel like this is a lot more believable than him going in there, signing the contract, and then complaining about it after the fact. Right now, he's you know, embracing what he did. He's embracing the decision, so he's going to try to sell to us that he wants them to build the team around him. I'll take that rather than the
But
complaint.
that does still give him an out. Like, I've been
100%.
saying I
Oh,
wanted
100%.
them to
Doesn't
build
have
a
to be
team.
true.
They didn't, and now
Right.
I'm out. It gives him an out.
That's what I'm saying.
But he's not
I
even
take it.
setting up an out for himself. He's saying he really, truly wants to retire with the Wizards.
Good for him, man. He's
So-
gotta
I
say
mean,
that.
yeah, that. Like I said, I feel like he's giving himself an out, because again, if they don't build the team around him, he can be like, I really wanted to stay, I wanted to retire here, but if they're not going to give me what I need, I can
guess
write the
I
speech
can.
for him right now.
The minute he's playing his first season with the Miami Heat or wherever he goes, he'll be like, I gave my heart and soul to the Washington Wizards,
He's going to say it in that tone,
I
too.
tried everything I could, and I just, you know, they weren't helping me out.
Well,
You heard
that,
this
is
speech
that
every
true?
single time.
That's
You're
a
right.
true
That's what I'm
statement,
saying.
so, yeah.
No, because that's 100%.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be
Actually,
lying.
really quick, before the show started, Pga
Yeah.
Sports,
Yeah.
Police, yeah.
who is a part of the break
Shout
game,
out,
has
man.
given like $10 so far. So thank you for
ahead,
all
bro.
the money that you gave. It was before the show started, so we couldn't shout you out, but wanted to make sure we shouted you out. Thank you for the money.
Nice.
So sweet.
Yes, thank you so much for that. Okay, so let's get into the Warriors, our next subject. So Forbes valued the Golden State Warriors at $188 million when Joe, how do I say his name? Lacob? I forgot to check that.
Lacob,
Lacob. Okay. Purchased the franchise for $450 million in 2010. The Warriors have since increased their worth, according to Forbes, to $4.3 billion. But Joe says that the Warriors, quote, have much more revenue coming in than the Knicks or the Lakers. So Forbes said that the Warriors generated $440 million in revenue for the 2018-19 season, comparing that to $472 million for the Knicks and $434 million for the Lakers. Joe says that these numbers aren't really accurate and they're just a general guess. He also said that he's never going to sell the Warriors. So do you think that he's talking a big game here? Or do you think that he actually knows?
Who cares
I
how
know.
much you guys bring in? Oh, those are just estimates. Those are, who cares? Unless you are going to try to sell the team,
Right.
you shouldn't care to tell everyone else how much revenue you guys are bringing in. That's absolutely silly. And then come back and say, well, I'm not going to ever sell. You might be if you're trying to say how much the team is worth.
Right.
Like, that's ridiculous.
That's what people
to even
do when
come
they're
out and
selling
say
their
that.
house.
Right.
Like, oh,
the
by-
Gaming Gecko. Sorry, really quickly. Thanks
Oh,
for the
thanks for the
dollar.
dollar.
Yes, thank you. Okay, keep going.
Yeah, that's,
out.
I mean, people, when my mom was selling her house, that's what she was doing. Like, oh, we just upgraded this. We did this. Because
Yeah.
you want to make your house seem bigger than what it is. So when
Right.
people buy it, they pay more money for it. At the same time, he didn't mention, I would be curious to know how much money they've lost this season.
Yeah.
Because part of their revenue is because they were winning.
Right.
They're losing now.
Yeah.
So
I
how much
know.
have you lost? So if you're not going to factor that in, then it really does look like you're just putting this out there just in case anyone's interested.
Yeah.
Completely stupid. Like, who cares what you like? Right now, it's just he's trying to go out there and be like, yeah, well, even though we're having a losing season, we're still the Warriors, so
Yeah.
whatever. We
Yeah.
still did it. Like, come on, bro. Like, just sit
Yeah.
back, enjoy what it is, because you know that next year you're gonna be right back.
How
to
did
where
He
you were.
this
literally
conversation-
reminds me of, like, I remember I went on this date with this guy, and he literally
Oh,
was
no,
like,
that's not good
oh, I'm going to pull up, I have, like, a white four-door Porsche, and it has white seats inside,
Oh,
and
my-
it has, like,
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
I was just like, so you got a white car.
Yeah,
Like,
right,
it's
right,
already
right,
a
right,
white car.
right.
Like, what are you
Right.
talking? I don't need to know the details, what year it is, like, how many inches is your rims. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
Yeah.
it was like, why are you, like, showboating and whatever? I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
he
Maybe
was
he's
telling
just taking
something
it-
to nobody. Nobody cares.
Maybe he's
it's
just
like
taking
nobody.
it bad because they
Joe
are
Lacob.
losing.
Like,
Yeah.
You know, like he's like, I feel bad that we're losing, but I make more money than you.
Yeah, it's like, bro, shut up, man.
This is not the time for you to come out and start talking about numbers because you already are having a terrible season. This just kind of seems, like a big peacock effect.
Yeah.
Like,
If anything, with the NBA, CBA coming up shortly, next couple of years, this is a perfect thing for them to be like, okay, well, since y'all making all that money, you guys can go ahead and pay us more.
Yeah.
Like, that's all you just did right now.
I would love to see how this came up. How did this conversation come up?
I'm not entirely sure how it came up, how it started, but I think it's because Forbes published an article valuing each team and citing their different revenue numbers, and
it's just crazy because
it was literally nobody, and then him like, oh, well, actually,
and all the teams he named, like they all have more wins than the team that he's talking about. Even my Knicks, like all the talk you want to say, the Knicks have 20 wins, and you guys are barely struggling to get the 15th win. So it's like. It's just a bad look. It's a bad look.
Yeah.
It's a tough year for him, and he just was like, I'm going to hold
take
on
it on
to
the chin,
this
you'll be
glimmer.
back.
You got a new
goodness.
stadium, a new arena, just like relax, like it's
it'll
fine.
be fine. Yes.
We have a comment in here that says, yes, so many guys do that. Impress me with your character, honey, not your wallet. I say that to all the guys watching. You say that, I'm sure you do too. All the guys watching, but also to Joe.
Well, I say it all the time too. That's the same thing I say.
Yeah.
I'll tell you like, make me laugh first. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Chris is hilarious.
Chris is a tough dude.
It is really funny though. And like, I'm sure, I mean, he took over the team in 2010, so like as the full owner, so he's like not used to probably being in this place, so he's like literally like, well, I am still cool, guys.
Steve Ballmer had those moments too. I remember when he first got in there.
Well, Steve Ballmer paid $2 million.
That wasn't a shot. I just remember Steve Ballmer had that awkward face when he first came in. Remember, and then
he was trying to fit in with the crowd.
Exactly. So
but he also paid $2 billion for the team, so he's like, I gotta make sure like I seem cool enough to spend this much money on a team. Yeah. Because that was the highest anyone had ever at the time paid for a team. So.
Okay, let's move on and discuss Charles Barkley and his take on the Rookie of the Year battle between Zion Williamson and Ja Morant. So, he said that he will be, quote, really pissed and, quote, blow a gasket if Zion Williamson earns the Rookie of the Year award. He said, quote, he's an amazing kid from a distance. He's been a great jolt of energy for the NBA, but if they screw Ja Morant out of this Rookie of the Year thing, I am going to blow a gasket on TNT. So he believes that the Rookie of the Year conversation should be focused on the effort put forward throughout the entire season. And as we know, Zion hasn't been. I know you're really excited.
He's ready. He's like, I'm ready to jump.
Sorry.
As we know, Zion missed the majority. He missed the majority of the season due to those injuries. Let me set
I know.
She's like, let me finish.
He's like, I wrote something. I gotta say it.
Ja has played throughout the entire season. We've had this conversation on here a bunch of times, and I'm wondering, I kind of know where you all stand, but let's get into it again, especially now that Charles Barkley has put his opinion forward.
Take it away, Chris.
All I was going to say is I feel like this is very similar to the exact story we just said, because now it's like he's trying to force his opinion on everybody, because he's saying, like, if this don't happen because this is what I want, I'm going to blow a gasket, and everybody's going to have to witness my gasket because I'm Charles Barkley. You watch me every Thursday. So it's just one of those, like, I get it. Like, we had this argument last week talking about, should it be Ja, should it be Zion, blah, 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 blah. But it's just, I feel like this is very similar to exactly what we just talked about. And I can't stand when people do that, when they try to force their opinion on everybody else to make us then feel like, well, you're right. Charles is right. He played more because Charles said so, so you're right. We should be.
That's what you're supposed to do as a host. You want everybody to believe what you believe. Like, the whole point of Brit's Takes is so I can get all of you guys to think like me. That's what you do. You're a commentator. You're a host. They're not like actually like reporting anything. Right. They don't do that. It's an opinion-based show, pretty much, like just like what we do here, and it's your job to make people believe what you believe. So that is Stephen A's job, is to make people believe what he believes. Everybody does that.
Like, plus it'd be fun. I mean, to see Charles
Barkley.
I would
love to see Charles Barkley.
Because I'm actually going for Zion, but Charles Barkley freaking out is fun to watch.
100%.
Yeah.
It really is.
If Zion wins, he will blow a gasket.
That's just ridiculous.
I mean, I don't really see Zion winning anyway, though. I know that he's kind of been able to put himself back into the conversation because of how well he's been doing. But I think that everybody will look at, Ja's effort throughout the entire season and realize that, he is
Can
deserving of
I
the
ask you
award.
this question?
Yeah.
Name 2 other people on the Memphis Grizzlies right now.
Brandon Clark, my
Well,
little
you
brother.
might be able to name
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
you 2 name
Google
anybody
it real
else
quick.
on
Better
there.
question is that the coach. Name the coach.
Oh, yeah.
That I can't name.
That
His
I-
name's Jenkins.
Yeah, that's all I got. Jenkins.
But what's his first name?
I don't even know his first name.
Yeah.
But
I don't know Jenkins because I hear it during
Yeah,
the game.
yeah.
But I don't, what's his name?
But
We're
literally,
terrible.
that's the difference between Zion
Correct.
and Ja. I think there nobody here can name anybody on the team. Like I know Kyle Anderson plays because he used to play for the Spurs, and he was like a third backup on the Spurs.
Slow-mo.
You know,
Right.
but literally everybody on that starting lineup would be on the bench somewhere else.
Right.
And that's their starting lineup. So with what he's had to play with and still being in the conversation as a playoff team, like obviously right now the only people in the West that have solidified a spot is the Lakers. Everyone else is still fighting to clinch a spot in the playoffs. And right now they're sitting at the 8th seed,
Pretty
but it is
confident,
still anybody's game. But like, I mean, I think the next one down is like 4 games back from them.
Yeah.
So 4 or 5 games back. So he's done that as a rookie with like literally everybody else's handaways, like they're bench players.
Right, right. Right.
That's why I think that's the difference maker because, I mean, the Pelicans play with, what's his face? That is Brandon Ingram was an
All-star.
all-star this year. Lonzo's been in the league a couple years. He's good. Everybody knows his name. Like people know people on the
JJ
Pelicans.
Redick, you're right, yeah.
JJ
Drew
Redick,
Holiday,
like, yeah.
they got guys on
So
there.
I mean,
You're
they
right.
have guys, but nobody can name anybody on the Grizzlies.
Well,
Really.
Yeah.
they play each other. They have, 17 games left? Something like that? And they
Yeah.
play each other twice.
Yeah.
So I think that, that's going to be the game to watch because now I feel like those 2 games are going to be
But you
the
still
decision
genuinely
makers.
think that Zion Williamson can take that Rookie of the Year from Ja Morant?
So we've had this conversation, and I'm not. I love Ja Morant, and I don't want people to think that I don't because I love him. I
that's
respect
the
his
thing,
talent
yeah.
and things like that. But I mean, I have been a huge Zion fan for a long time. Number one, and number two, I do think he's doing. He's played 19 games with them. They've won 11 of those games,
Yeah.
and I think he's making a difference. And I think that he's getting the short end of the stick because he doesn't have the portfolio that Ja has.
Like I
and
said,
I
he can
just
only play
think
up to 37 games.
right, and I just don't think that's fair. I don't think he should be counted out because of that. And I think because everyone is saying, oh, he doesn't have the number of games, like I always kind of go for the underdog anyway. So my thing is like, well, I don't care that he hasn't played the number of games. He's had success in the
Within
games
the
that
games.
I
he's
would
played.
say Ja is more of the underdog.
I,
Yeah.
No,
I would
going
too.
into his rookie
I
would
would think that Ja's more the underdog with the novice because I think people are going with Zion because Zion's the bigger name.
Yeah.
But I think when you really listen to sports commentators and they really break down the portfolio of work, then Ja's the favorite, and he should be based on that because he has a bigger portfolio. So when you're really talking about people who break down the stats, Ja's the favorite.
Mm-hmm.
When you're talking about the novice fan, then Zion's the favorite. I like Zion because I think he's done more in a limited amount of time. And he's done more with bigger eyes on him. So I think when you're under that amount of pressure and you still can produce the numbers he's produced, give the kid a chance. I am not going to lose nary a gasket if he does not, if he doesn't win, though. I just want that stuff.
I'm with you. So I was rooting for Zion for Rookie of the Year, and I still am. But I also think that I'm biased because when I've seen him in interviews, he
Yeah,
seems like a
Zion's
really nice
just
guy.
like, yeah, right.
He's
Yeah.
a sweet kid. I want to see him win, but I think that Ja is equally as deserving.
Right.
Okay, let's get into the final need-to-know news topic. Coronavirus again and how it's affecting upcoming games. So the city of San Francisco issued a statement saying that they're banning all public gatherings of 1,000 people or more, but there's no word yet on how that's going to be affecting NBA games for the Warriors at Chase Center. The mayor actually said, I have expressed my desire that they do this voluntarily, meaning cancel games or eliminate fans from games before in the days ahead we do it as an emergency. As an emergency public health order. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. I hope they come to that conclusion before we make them come to that conclusion. So it looks like the San Francisco city government is going to be getting involved in saying you cannot have games here, which is kind of intense. I mean, we've been talking about eliminating fans and how that might happen. The media is no longer allowed in the locker rooms. They're doing a lot of different things to make sure that the coronavirus doesn't spread. The mayor also said that all non-essential events be canceled, but he said that the Warriors kind of took that as a thanks for the recommendation, but we're not going to listen.
Dog.
Thanks, but we good.
Yeah,
Have you not heard that we're worth way more than it actually says on Forbes? Have you heard?
Right.
We have a lot of money, so
We can pay for treatment.
So the NBA's also, they had a conference call yesterday, and some of the things that they discussed were moving games to cities where there haven't been outbreaks, which to me that seems like a bad idea, because what if people from those...
not for the
Have
city.
it, and
And then they're
They're like, we never get teams here yet.
Right. Those especially if it's a city that's broke and needs tourists and stuff. They're like, oh yeah, we ain't got no virus over here. We all
Except for
clean.
all the San Francisco fans with
That are gonna
coronavirus
come.
are
Right.
going to be spreading it all
too.
around.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they're talking about doing that on top of eliminating fans from regular games. But what do you guys think is going to happen here? Do you think that the Warriors should take the city's warning and kind of start listening to them?
I just don't. I have to admit, I've been a big proponent of y'all are overreacting when it comes to this damn virus. But I sent Britt a thing that I saw yesterday, and I just said, well, damn, because it's literally a reporter who was reporting on in Italy, a soccer game,
in the Champions League,
and got the virus from
31
reported.
years old.
Yep,
Wow.
and now he's sitting in isolation all by himself.
Can't
no
talk to
friends,
his
no
family,
family,
nothing.
nothing.
Wow.
And now it's a matter of, okay, who did he come in contact with? What players? What other reporters? Did they take it home to their family? Is that person now going to have to spend their time in isolation?
Yeah.
So it literally becomes like from this one guy, it could literally spiral. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that moment I had to tell Britt, I was like, I don't know.
Right.
It might be a bigger deal than I thought.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
I might need to talk to my neighbor.
he's 31. He's healthy. He's gonna live. He'll be fine, I'm sure.
Right.
But the spot you're in where you're like, dang, I've been sitting here for 2 weeks. I can't communicate or be around anybody.
Right.
I'm in like solitary confinement.
Right.
Like
It's
I'm in this
sad.
spot and I can't talk to my friends. Just hearing his story was really sad. Just like, oh yeah, this is a guy that's like for sure gonna like be okay, but dang, like he still has to go through all of this stuff, And then in this country, we are one of the richest countries that doesn't offer like paid sick leave for like everybody. So then it's like people are getting sick. They are barely living paycheck to paycheck as is, So even though, yes, most people, if you are of a certain age, you're going to get it and then you're going to get better again.
Right.
But just going through like, I am sick, I have to be quarantined for 2 weeks, I can't talk to anybody. Like, I think it is so disrespectful for the Warriors to not listen to the government. Like, clearly, there's stuff that we don't know yet.
Yeah.
Clearly, if all these big things are being canceled like that, there's stuff that we do not know. There's stuff that they don't know. That's why they're kind of like taking precautions, because this is a very new virus. It was just introduced in December, and we don't know what's going on yet. They said yesterday, I was watching on the CDC, they were saying even if they came up with some kind of
Cure.
like a vaccine, they would have to test it for a year before they can administer it to anybody.
And by then,
So and then they predicted by the end of the year there could be over like 300,000 to 400,000 people that have been killed from this. So it's really scary, and for the Warriors to, especially when they're playing my Clippers, to say that they're just gonna not listen to what the government is saying that's scary in and of itself. Like,
Well,
I mean, I get not fully trusting the government, first and foremost, Tuskegee. But I do think that at this point, it's one of those catch-22s, because we don't know. And I think it's because we are in a privileged nation. We haven't seen it
we don't think stuff like
spiral
that can
out of
happen
control.
here.
Right.
Yeah.
And which is weird to me because we don't even have universal health care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's literally
we have the highest rate of deaths for pregnant people, like
in the
world.
In the world.
Yeah.
So
we're actually not that great, guys.
We should probably be a little bit more concerned than we are. But we kind of just think, and I get it because I fall right into this category, because when I hear, you have to be older with a compromised immune system to really be worried about it, I'm like, okay, well, let's just take care of our elderly and we're good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I saw
It's like
somebody in
this-
the chat, they said that they heard a 20-year-old got it. I haven't heard that. The youngest I've heard is like, I think 45 or something like that.
Reporter's 31.
Well, yeah, the reporter's 31.
Well, people get it. It's just like
It's
treat it,
treatable
we'll
when you're
pass
younger.
it.
That's
and
what
a lot
I was
of people
gonna
are
say.
getting it already.
That's the
like
biggest part.
people And our work might have had it already.
Exactly.
You know, like we don't even know,
Hey.
but they just have a cough and then they get over it in 2 weeks and then they've passed it on to somebody who might
that's my
have
concern. Like if
heavier-
I
that's why-
and I pass it on to my
Not
mom.
everybody has these crazy symptoms where they have a fever and whatever. Some people just have a cough and then they've passed it on to somebody else who now ends up dying.
My
from it,
neighbor's
you
been
know?
coughing
Which
for an
is right.
entire
I'm saying you better
week.
go talk to
Oh
her.
my
And we
God.
don't even
That's
have
exactly-
test kits here to test people if they did have it.
And that's
Right.
exactly why when you guys are saying we should move to a place that's not, no,
We
we
don't
shouldn't
know
because we
what-
don't know just because we're not showing these signs, we can still be carrying it and then
Yeah,
we bring
right.
it over
Yeah.
to that
Right.
place that doesn't have it. So
Well,
I think it's something that they should listen to, and I don't think they should be ignorant to it. But
Right.
like,
So
thanks
why do
but
you
no
think they're
thanks.
not? Why do you think they're like, we might listen?
Because
might.
they're the
Because
only
he
ones
wants
getting
to be
called
the
out.
most revenue in the
Exactly.
world.
Yeah.
So
They're,
he's
they're
like,
the
I'm
only ones
bringing
being
my
called
money.
out. No one else is getting.
But
New
that's
York
why I
isn't calling
think-
out the Knicks. Like they're the only ones being called out. So they're like,
Yeah.
why are we
But
getting bullied?
San
kind of
Francisco
thing.
But
has
LA
like a
Yeah, right, right.
decent population of people right now that just got confirmed with it. So like that's why San Francisco is saying that because they have a large group there that is now getting it or whatever. So
Exactly.
that's like
well, the government may actually end up forcing the Warriors to cooperate, so we'll see what happens in the future. But that wraps up Need to Know News. So, Chris, tossing it to you.
Post up with your boy Chris.
Love it.
I hate that I have to start with this, but it was kind of funny. If you guys didn't know, I am a diehard Knicks fan. But yesterday,
What?
yeah, it's crazy, right?
It doesn't,
But yesterday,
I mean, I almost forgot because you're not wearing any
He has
colors.
Knicks on.
Oh, there it is.
so
There it is.
yesterday after my Knicks lost to the same Bradley Beal we talked about, I hung my Knicks cap hat on the side for just a few hours, and I became a diehard Laker fan because
And we let it down.
You did. Yesterday, the Lakers played my arch nemesis, the New Jersey Nets. And no, I'm not saying on accident. I know what I'm saying. They'll always be the New Jersey Nets to me. They played the New Jersey Nets last
know
night.
that's
back
right.
starting.
I know
Go
that's right.
DJ. That's my DJ.
Don't even give that to the Nets don't deserve that. But
I love
anyways,
you, DeAndre Jordan. Miss you.
but but the Nets played the Lakers, and the Lakers decided to just fall asleep throughout that entire game. But in all respect to the Lakers, they did come back towards the end, and it led to this shot by Anthony Davis that was very key, wide open pass. But look at the New Jersey bench. Look at them.
New Jersey, leave them alone.
Look
They're
at
the
the-
Brooklyn Nets.
No, I know what I said.
They're
The
from
New Jersey
Jersey.
Nets. Look. But KD's my favorite part. He's like, damn, that's going in. But then he's like, oh wait, he missed. Hey! So I'll give him that.
And
It was
literally,
dope.
Danny Green was almost getting ready to run over there to
Right.
congratulate. Everyone was
And
going
he
towards
just like,
Anthony, and they're
oh,
like, oh, never
shoot.
mind.
Right.
Yeah,
I love the bench though. I love that. Like I'm gonna
Yeah.
get
They
all
haven't
in
had
those
that for a
areas.
while.
I
and,
love
and
that.
the coach
I
was
know.
front and center, like, yeah.
He's like, I need
He's
this.
chilling out now as a coach.
I need this.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, okay.
Yes,
They won.
yes.
LeBron's face like, damn, that was my triple double, dog. Come on.
Right.
Hello, did you guys not notice Kevin Durant went
Yeah,
there?
we
He
did
traveled.
notice.
He went there with
Yeah.
the team.
Yeah, because he's getting
has-
back on track, man.
yeah.
Working
Yeah, because
out.
he got his
saw,
way.
I just saw a video
And it
of
was
Kevin
LA.
Durant in practice this week. He's looking kind of nice
Yeah.
already.
Look, man,
Looking
I
kind of nice.
don't like the team. I'm upset that he snubbed us, but I like KD. Can't.
I don't think he
go
actually
against that.
snubbed you as much as y'all snubbed
ourselves.
yourselves.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
look, that's neither here nor there. Moving on, staying with the Brooklyn Nets,
You
I'm moving
snubbed
over
yourself.
to Spencer Dinwiddie, who got my fellow Laker fans at the time and Nets fans in a little bit of a tizzy when he tweeted out, "I'm coming home." There it is. Right. Okay. Before I even finish this story, you guys see that tweet right now.
Yes.
You want your tweet? What is your reaction? Go.
He's coming.
No, let
LA.
Devin go. What do you see? What do you say?
LA. Going to LA.
So he's just like going to LA, or he's gonna leave to play for
Oh,
LA?
I'm not.
No, let Devin finish. No. Devin, what do you think when you see that tweet?
I didn't think that it was anything major.
Okay,
Yeah.
Jackie, what you see that tweet? Like, what are you thinking? Like,
I think he's coming home to LA to play.
Yeah.
to play against or for?
Against.
And you would think the same thing, right?
Yes,
we're all
because
common
it's-
sense people.
Yes.
Common sense.
Right.
The trade is over. You guys he can't do nothing right now. He's literally in his first year of his new contract.
Yeah, preach.
Like, come on.
But guess what? Laker fans thought. They didn't
No,
think
no,
that.
don't put that on us.
I'm
Don't
gonna
put that on us.
Leo,
No, we didn't.
Leo,
No,
run
we
the
didn't.
tweet.
Don't
Run the
do that.
tweet.
Fans
Don't do
Look at that Photoshop.
Don't do that.
Look at that Photoshop.
Look, let me
That is one
wait
of
a
many.
minute. Wait
That
a
is
minute.
one of many.
Listen to the
I'm
token
right.
Lakers fans here.
Maybe
Please
that
figure
was
this
the
out.
same Laker fan that was buying the Warriors jersey.
Right.
So,
I'm
you know,
right.
they ain't the
I'm gonna
shabbiest
speak
of
for
people.
all Laker
Defend
fans.
him.
We did not think that.
Oh,
No.
I pulled
You have one guy.
I could have spent the rest of our prep time before this show pulling tons
Honestly,
and tons of Photoshop
If you,
clips.
honestly, if we didn't already have the rundown of the whole story and you just said, guess who's coming back, and they saw that, they would have been like, is he coming back?
I wouldn't
I
have
think
thought
they
that.
would. We all know what
So
everyone's
you're thinking because
story
they
is.
knew
Yes.
that they
Wait,
No.
so wait,
Oh.
let me be clear. So because
No.
we knew he had a game in LA, we
No,
would
not
have.
a game in LA.
No, that
Yeah.
you knew that it didn't mean that. Look,
Yeah.
I'm on to you guys.
Look,
I'm on to you guys.
Lakers
on.
fan, will y'all please stand up in this chat because I am not
Laker
gonna
fan,
let.
look,
Come on,
I don't know if
help
they're the
me
ones you
out.
want to talk to because they were buying it. They
There's
were
no way
buying it.
they were
There were
buying it.
tons and tons
There
of
were
tweets.
so many of
Those
them.
are Laker fans that don't live in LA.
Man, let me tell you, my favorite. I didn't pull it, but one of my favorite responses was one saying, "Y'all got a Photoshop for every player in the league, don't
You
you?"
know what? Every time I
They had
tweet,
everybody ready,
Every
like ready to
player.
go.
They're like,
Every-
"Zion,
Russell
what
Westbrook? He's coming to the Lakers now?
every time I tweet at LAX heading to Denver, people go, "Oh my God, you're moving back home." I'm visiting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's an illogical thing of things you want, maybe.
Man.
Maybe.
Well, bad news.
But we didn't-
Spencer
yeah.
is staying in Brooklyn, and he will be a net for a long time. So this one is I'm so excited about this one. All right, I bring to you guys what I call the Pga Turtle. Okay, now this video has been going viral. It's old, but this is back in 2011 at the PGA Tour where you see my boy debating whether he's gonna make that dive. Now he's waiting. This is real time, people. This is. And there he goes. He made the plunge. All right. You think that's the end of my boy? Oh no, it's not. Cause 2014 he came back. Same turtle, cause you know turtles got long
No,
lives.
it's the same
Because he got the
turtle.
marks on his back.
yeah.
It's the same one. Turtles have a long time. So this one he was
maybe
playing.
it's
Look,
just
running the. Look, he was working it,
Like
doing
we
the
did.
same thing.
Today.
Eating it up. He was eating it up like I'm gonna go in. Oh no, I'm not. No, I'm not.
love this
Oh no, I'm not. Wait for it. Real time, people. It's real time.
Eh,
But my favorite one is 2016. If you blink, you'll miss it. 2016. It's going to be a little warm up. People are applauding. You can't hear it. People are so excited. Oh, he made the dive. This is great. Blah, 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 blah. But if you blink, you will miss 2016. Look at him go. Look at him. And he's out. No hold up. 2016.
Wait, there was no marks on that turtle's back.
That might, you know what? That might, because he's fast. So that might not be the same turtle.
That's the baby
That
turtle.
is his friend or his child.
You're right. That
That's
could
the
be a
baby
different one.
turtle.
But he was my favorite one because, look, my man was not
He's
about
like,
the
I don't need y'all all in my face.
No. I'm going for it. He went all the way in. Look at the slow-mo. I'm going down. I love this.
Chris
I'm
really
sorry.
needs to
I enjoyed this so much when we saw this yesterday, so I'm so glad we got it. And shout out to Arthur.
Is
Appreciate you for that in.
awesome.
I love that.
And last but not least, I don't want to waste any more time, going to the same Sierra Canyon that we were talking about earlier, where a different Zaire was the moment of the night. Zaire Williams, who took this crazy game-winning shot. But my problem is, my man dribbled the entire shot clock out. Like, it's great. Good shot. Pump faking everybody. But you don't see none of your teammates. Great shot, though. Why?
Yeah, it was
you
good.
gotta
that's-
dribble that out because the game was tied at that point.
Yeah.
You
They were
take that
down
shot.
one.
You
Because
take
they
that
ended up being
moment.
104 to 102, right?
61-63.
Oh, I'm thinking of like
That's very wishful
grown-up
thinking.
people.
Though. Right. High school. No, I do agree, but every response I saw to this was like, oh, so you ain't had no teammates? Oh, so you gonna dribble the ball out? Da 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 da. People always got to complain for
Yeah,
something.
he made the shot.
That's what I'm saying, and it was a great shot
That
too.
was like what Kobe would do. Like he's like, I ain't giving this to nobody
Zaire
else.
was hot. Yeah,
Yep, that's
Zaire
what
was
they said,
hot.
Mamba mentality.
Brandon Boston Jr. was hot. It was great stuff. But yeah, if you look at that clip, we're not gonna play it again. But if you look at that clip, there was no Zaire Wade in sight. So hot take for the
They
previous statement.
still won the state championship.
They did.
No,
I'm
well,
proud
they're
of
going
them.
into. That's moving them into the
Oh,
championship. They have the
into the
championship coming up. Yeah.
And I love
We
Bonnie
actually,
running out in
my
cheering
my
for him.
high school in football this year played Sierra Canyon for the state championship. We
And
won
won.
though. Yeah.
Mm.
We
Shout
won
out,
the state
go ahead.
championship. Shout out to Central High School. What up, though?
Hey. That's it for my post up.
Yes. Okay.
Take us into WTF.
WTF. So, okay, as football fans, we know we've been on the fence back and forth. Is Gronk coming back? Is he not coming back? He is coming back, but he's not coming back to the NFL. He's coming to the WWE, which is a little weird to me.
Super weird.
Ryan Satin of the WWE is reporting that WWE is finalizing a contract with Rob Gronkowski, and we know that he appeared in WrestleMania 33 in Orlando, and he was hanging out with Triple H, who I love, and Super Bowl weekend. So here's the thing, though. The comments in this post are not, everyone's wondering, like, okay, obviously his body is healed, but what part of his body is he worried about? His body is obviously healed enough, but he's had a string of injuries. Yeah. He's had a torn ACL, torn MCL, he has a bruised vertebrae, a hernia disc, a grade 1 concussion. He's had some ankle injuries. He's had all these injuries that should make you a little weary of any like hard impacts. Mm-hmm. But you know, hey, go to the WWE, and if you didn't get CTE before, I don't know if the WWE is going to prevent you. Right. But you know, hey, do what you do. I'm actually gonna.
He wanted this,
man. He's been teasing this for years. Like everybody knew when he was done with his NFL career that he was gonna try to make a run for it in the WWE. So I'm not like surprised by it. He has a perfect
personality for this. Perfect personality. It's animated. It's drama. It's not real. I know I'm not supposed to say that.
Also, hot take.
They are real athletes, though. They have to do some good stuff. I actually made it to like a final round randomly back in the day for a WWE Diva.
I remember when they did that.
Yeah, and so I like had tried out for that and made it to like the final round for WWE Diva.
I mean,
and it is hard. Like the stuff you have to learn to make sure you don't kill yourself, like, is really hard.
And I saw so many posts. Now, since you're wondering about these common sense tweeters. A lot of people were like, no, he was supposed to be the reason why Tom Brady came back to the Patriots, and he was supposed to be.
Give it up.
But I'm
He's not coming back to the
Patriots. In forever. He's been hurt. He's had literally surgery on his whole entire back.
Right.
Like, let the man go.
Before we move off of Gronk, I know you're a fan. You watched The Masked Singer. I am saying he is the white tiger on The Masked Singer.
I said that.
Yes, he's 100%. It didn't happen yet. It's no spoiler, but I'm telling you, he's the white tiger on The Masked Singer.
And I said that since he came out.
Me too.
Just his whole swag and the way he walked.
His swag was all off. He even said he didn't think he was going to get this far. And that's Gronkowski.
Wow.
Bridget's making fun of my little. That ain't quite right. I tried the best I could, y'all.
So I had to get that out there.
That was like Gronk with a limp. Like, he's usually limp.
It works. Great impression, though.
Oh my God. Okay, so earlier I told you guys we were talking about weight earlier. Now I saw this match. It's an MMA match. It's the Ultimate Challenge in the UK. For those of you guys who, I can't remember what that old school movie was, but they had them Rock'em Sock'em games. That's what both of these gentlemen look like, or maybe He-Man on steroids, however you're gonna look at it. But the really big guy is Thomas. I cannot say his last name, so I'm not gonna even try. But the commentators are classic in this one. They were like, he's going to fall down, not because he gets hit, but because he can't breathe. So we gotta go back a little bit earlier on this, but my man literally, he's Irish. He's Irish, so that's why. So this is after he wins, but I need you to watch him take a deep breath, like, whew, he should have.
I need some oxygen.
Can we?
That's like me after I ran around the block. Like,
right.
I need some.
Can we? Oxygen. Is there timeouts in this? Because I need a. Oh, Jesus.
There is. He couldn't make it through the round.
This is literally the first time I started working out when I came back to the States. I was like, let me just gun it. Let me go for these stairs. About 5-6 stairs up. I was like, oh, Lord. Jesus.
I got to go back down?
Who going to come get me?
I need to pick me up in the middle of the stairs.
Somebody need to pedal up here and get me. But he ended up winning that fight. Shouts out to him. Big guys can do it, too.
TTS Gaming said this is a terrible matchup for that guy, for real. That's true, man. Went in there with that big old dude.
But even his last punch was like, I'm so tired. Please, God, let it connect. Please, God. Ooh.
Yeah. Okay. He's like, literally, this is going to be kind of, not to say that he's not in shape, but like Wilder when he fights Fury again. Because Wilder is one of the, he's like, I just got to get that one punch. If I could just make it around this until I get that one punch, I win, you know? And this is a perfect example of that actually happening.
Yeah. I just love how he's in shape, shoulders, and neck.
Yeah, he's got all the muscle. And it's just like...
Your workout is wrong, buddy. Your workout is wrong. All right,
a little more cardio. Just a little bit.
So we're going to get to a WTF moment with Trae Young. I know you guys like Trae Young here. We all love some Ice Trae. The Hawks are currently second to last in the Eastern Conference. They're just, they're ahead of the Cavs, though, so that's good.
Good job, guys.
But in double overtime against the Charlotte Hornets on Monday, Trey scored 31 points, was 6 for 13 from beyond the arc, and had 16 assists and was 3 and 4 from the field. He is the first player in NBA history to post multiple career games with more than 15 assists and more than 5 3-pointers. He was
Shout out.
Shouts out. I love who's pulling these random stats.
Like 21, 20, not
20.
I don't think
21.
he just
22?
turned. Didn't we
22?
just talk about he just turned 21? Like
Yeah,
his
he's
birthday
gotta
was
be just
like
right.
because I remember
Yeah.
we were
And
like,
he had a
oh,
birthday.
best guys under 21.
A lot of career left in him too. That's gold.
I think
That's
he
really
just
cool.
turned 21.
He is
or is
so
about
much
to this
fun
year.
to watch, and I love. Somebody gave a speech earlier and said, I was watching Kobe do an interview when he was talking about Gigi and her favorite players to watch, and Trae Young was one of them, and so I just love. He is fun to watch. It's sad that we're not going to be able to watch him in the playoffs, but baby
For a
steps.
while.
Yeah,
He'll
he's
get
very
there. He'll
talented.
get there.
He'll get
Yeah.
there.
Someday.
So yesterday, Britt talked about Dak finally getting this contract. I was actually very happy for Dak because I feel like this contract should have happened during the season last year.
They're
I
playing
get
him
the
though, yo.
holdout. But Dak at that time said that he wanted to play for the Cowboys forever. He wanted to retire a Cowboy. He also wanted a long-term deal, an unheard of long-term deal. He wanted like a 6-year deal. The Cowboys finally relent, and they gave him this big deal. But now he was like, I don't know. Maybe I don't want this long-term deal. Maybe I want a 4-year deal, and I want something like Jared Goff got, which because the Cowboys are going to get him $105 million guaranteed. Jared Goff got that 4-year deal with $134 million guaranteed.
Well, it wasn't 134 guaranteed.
Wasn't that?
That was just the whole contract.
Just the whole
was
contract.
Oh,
I forget what he had guaranteed.
I was gonna say that's a
on that one.
lot.
Yeah, that was.
He
I
wants
don't remember
something-
his guaranteed.
Something
either.
more, but I'm like, WTF, Dak. You played that whole season on the rookie contract, and you were like, I don't want to talk contracts. I just want to play. It's all about my team. I want to retire a Cowboy. Then you get this whole, okay, we're going to try to make this happen for you. And now you're like, maybe a little shorter. Maybe a little shorter.
Yeah.
Well,
WTF, Dak.
we got less than 24 hours to figure it out because they have to
Yeah.
do the franchise tag by March 12th, which is tomorrow. So
I think he's forcing them into a franchise tag, which sucks because
he
they
I thought they
should
moved
not.
it. I thought
They
they
moved
to
it to March 12th.
Right.
It originally was the 10th.
Gotcha.
So they moved it to the 12th.
Right. Gotcha.
So they have until tomorrow to figure something out. So I don't know. I still think these are like rumors. Like we haven't actually heard anything from Dak or his agent. And we haven't actually heard anything from the Dallas Cowboys. So this is obviously people whisper stuff and
You say, she say.
telephone. Once you get down to this person, it's a totally different story
Right.
than when it started with that person. So I don't know.
Dak
how
said he
much
wants to
truth
retire.
this is.
Right, Dak's like, I'm going to the WWE.
Right. I'm gonna go play with Gronk. WWE. No, but so I'm whatever.
the money,
We'll see. We have a day tomorrow when we talk about it. We'll know at this point if he is going to get franchise tagged, which I don't think they're going to do. I think he's going to sign some kind of contract because
They gotta
as
afford that.
as a player, you want a contract based off of your performance at the moment.
Yeah.
He is, like I said the other day, one of the healthiest quarterbacks ever. Like, he doesn't miss practices, doesn't miss games. He's super healthy. His thighs are huge. Like, he's a solid dude, right? The coaches or the owners are going to pay you like you're going to get hurt tomorrow.
Right.
So they obviously, it always has to come in the middle somewhere. $105 million guaranteed, I think, is a good,
I think it's a
great
great
deal. You know,
Great
especially
deal.
because, like you were saying, he hasn't won anything yet.
Right.
You know, so I think it's a great deal. Obviously, we would want to see him play for forever and a long time, whatever, till he's 38, 39. But
These
the
long-term
NFL
contracts
stands
are-
for not for long, you
Right.
know? So as a player, you never want to franchise tag yourself because
Absolutely.
what if something does happen
Not
next
everybody
season?
is-
Then guess what? You end up, instead of getting $105 million guaranteed, you just got that $25 million, whatever this franchise is for quarterbacks. You just get $25 million for one season, and then you don't have all of that money that you could have gotten. Like, there's been several players. I feel like Le'Veon Bell kind of did that to himself,
He
too.
did.
Like, he could have signed a
Oh, he
long-term
sure did.
deal, and then he didn't want to do it. He sat out. He missed $8 million that season, and then now he's not even making
good.
what he would have made if he
Right.
would have signed his original contract. So there's a point where it's like, you want this money or not? Do you
Right.
want to be greedy or not? Like,
And
I don't
Dak
know.
doesn't strike me as a greedy guy because if he was
doesn't.
a greedy guy, the whole last season would have.
That's why I'm like, I don't know if this is
Right. I think
these are just rumors.
I don't know. I think the Cowboys would relent to a 4-year deal. I don't know if it would be a Jared Goff type of deal, but I think that they would relent because I think they are willing to stay with Dak long term. They've proven that. I think he's proven himself to the team, he deserves a dope contract. So take the money if it's the money that you want. If you guys are just going back and forth on the years, I feel like just let it go.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, do you have some final words, Chris?
You're good.
Okay, well, Britt, take it away.
It is time for Britt's Takes.
Britt's Takes.
So, I would like to ask all of you guys for a favor. Cut the double standards in sports with males and females. So, women are forever being criticized for, what we wear. Chris wears a hoodie, for example, every single day. Nobody says anything, but everybody's like, oh, you guys are wearing this, you guys are this, and this, and this.
True.
Stop it. You guys do that with athletes as well. Wear whatever you feel. Women actually, I don't know, I can't speak for you guys, but I think I can. We wear what we feel comfortable with.
Absolutely.
And what we want to wear, we're literally not trying to impress you guys. Like, sorry if you thought so, but it's it's literally whatever we feel
We don't
like
even
wearing,
know y'all.
okay?
Why would we try to impress y'all?
What?
And athletes do the same thing. So there is a golf player. She has over 2 million followers on social media. She goes by Paige Renee. I'm sure a lot of you guys follow her. She recently got criticized for some comments she made in her podcast that she has called Play Around because she's a golfer. And she wanted to double down on them because she got a lot of criticism for what she said. And she's like, nah, I said what I said.
I love it.
So she tweeted this. In episode 4 of my podcast, I vented about the golf industry, and I'm getting a lot of heat for it, which I expected. Not surprisingly, guys are calling me a whore and saying I need to show less cleavage, ew, boring, but also that if I was a better golfer, then I'd be respected. She went on to say, so I have a question. Why are we more lenient towards someone or view them differently if they are very successful in their field of work? Does being a winner hold more weight than being a good person? Which doesn't make sense to me. I'd still be the same person if I was winning on a tour or doing media like I am now. Nothing would be different. I would still dress and act the same. She went on to say that she's not a victim and say, I'm just facing it head on now instead of worrying about being accepted. I will never change myself so I can fit in. Now, she's just one of many athletes female athletes who have been criticized for what they wear. Serena Williams is another one. We all remember during the French Open, after she had her daughter, she had to wear these cat suits because they were compression stuff because she had just had a baby and things are moving around still in there. Well, the French Open did not have a dress code at the time, but they made a dress code because of Serena Williams, and they wanted her to dress more conservatively, so they said she could no longer wear her cat suits even though she was wearing them because she had just had a baby and she needed to wear them. Nike had spent all this time creating these cat suits for her. She wore them. The one that she got in trouble with was a pant cat suit. It was a black pant cat suit, and just because she has a body and a shape and a booty, no, they didn't want to see that. They wanted her like in a skirt so you couldn't see her bottom as much or whatever, which I thought was insanely crazy. So even to Paige's point, like she said, like, oh, if you're winning in your sport, doing great. Serena Williams is the best tennis player we will see in our generation, and she's still even getting flack for what she's wearing, even though she's wearing it for a purpose. Like, I don't understand why every time it's a female athlete, there's an issue with like what we're wearing and what we're doing. Even, I know you guys remember that famous moment with Brandy from the women's national team when she ran and took her top off and just had her sports bra on after they won, which guys do all the time. I don't know how many topless Ronaldo shirts that like we have. Like,
JR stayed topless in Cleveland.
Ezekiel Elliott's always wearing his crop top. Like there's basketball players that take their jerseys off to do jersey switches, and football players at the end of games with their nipples and everything showing. Like nobody says anything to them, but this woman's just in a sports bra. She's wearing literally a full body suit that's a glove on her, and we have so many issues with it. Stop it. Like, let women just be women, play our sports, do whatever we're doing, and we're not doing it for you guys. We're doing it for us. We don't care about what you guys think about it. Let us be us and stop with the double standard, because you guys have no problem with guys doing shirts versus skins when they're playing basketball or whatever the case. Like, I'm so sick of it. Stop it.
I'm going to bring my mom's church fan next time, because Britt in here preaching.
Yes. Well, I feel like also as a woman, and not to get too, like, political
let's
or
do
social.
it, girl.
Get in there.
No matter what, you can't win. Either
You
you're
can't.
not dressing feminine enough, you're
Right.
dressing too masculine,
Right.
you don't look sexy. So it doesn't matter what we do, we're always going to receive criticism.
criticism
And
for
it's
it.
ridiculous.
Like, stop it. This new generation really needs to stop. And then I remember there was a male and female reporter and like anchors on like a news show or whatever. The guy wanted to prove a point, so he purposely the whole year wore the same exact suit every single day. He wore the same suit Monday through Friday during their time anchoring every single day because his co-anchor was getting criticized all the time for his outfits. So after the year, he came and he was just like, I just want to show you guys, every single day I've worn the same exact outfit. Not one person has mentioned or said, commented on what I wear, but you guys get on her every single day about what she's wearing no matter what she wears.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I've heard everything from you need to cover up to you need to show more. To
Right.
why do you change
Yeah.
your hair all the time? Because I can.
Yeah.
You know,
We can do whatever we want to do. Like, the whole point, like, and I know people are like, oh, you guys are somebody said feminists, whatever. The whole point of being a feminist is just letting women do whatever they want to do.
Right.
So if they want to be sexy, if they want to be conservative, that's our prerogative, and it's not your point to judge what any of us do. This goes across, like, all boards, like, not just sports, but, like,
Yeah, man.
in our jobs,
Bigger than
everything,
just-
you know?
yeah,
It's
exactly.
crazy.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
literally, Chris wears a hoodie every day,
Yeah.
and nobody says, Chris, why do you always have a hoodie on? You need to show more cleavage. Like, nobody
Can
says
you
that.
show more
do
cleavage
need to
tomorrow?
show more
Can we
no.
have Chris? Can that be our new hashtag? Chris Cleavage.
will not.
Hashtag Chris Cleavage.
I will not. What is it? I think I already got the hashtag Big Tit Chris out there, so it's all good. So,
There it is. Hashtag Chris Cleavage. Yes.
I
But
feel like
it's very unfortunate, yeah.
this episode of the Fumble Live we've touched on a lot of different things
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that are socially and politically important, and I'm totally with you on that. I feel like especially when a woman has worked her way to the top in the sports world, it's already difficult to do.
Right.
If
Yeah.
she
And
wants to wear a nun outfit, she should be able to do that. If she wants to dress like she's going on a pole, let her wear
Yeah,
it.
I know. I agree,
I don't
100%.
Yeah.
it's the unfortunate side of the internet because we're in that age where it's like all these guys, because we know or they know that we won't ever see them, that they feel like they can say whatever they want to say, right or wrong, because they're behind a keyboard. And it's unfortunate. It's real unfortunate.
Yeah,
should
I mean,
be-
even the French Open making a rule
Right.
for Serena
Yeah, that's what I'm
Williams so
saying.
she can't wear that.
People
Like,
of power, man.
I
They
think what
think
bothers me the most, though, it doesn't bother me when men say it because it's just boys being boys kind of thing, but when women do it, when women say, oh, she's not respectable because she doesn't cover up, or oh,
that's
true.
she needs to do, like when women come against other women,
Yeah.
that's when
Oh,
I'm like, what are you doing?
I
What are you
can't
doing?
stand for that. I hate that. And I think this kind of wraps up the entire show with like a pretty little bow. You should judge a person based on their character
Yes.
and what they do and what they say, how they help others, not what they're wearing, not what they look like. We were talking about that before, like the guy who's like, I have a white Porsche, but it's like,
Yeah.
great, good for you.
Delano actually made a comment about that. He's like, what do you, I can't find it, but he was actually joking about what you said earlier about that guy. Oh, he said, she should be trying to impress me. I'm funny and rich with my 2022 Lamborghini and my 88-room mansion with 4
Exactly.
buildings and so, yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
shoot! I thought he was being serious.
No, that's
I
Delano.
didn't
No.
do that.
I wrote back and
No,
I was
he's-
like, wow, you sound really impressive. I'm sorry
No.
now.
Oh, poor Devin.
No.
Just kidding.
I get,
Delano's part of the CK crew, man. Nah,
Right.
he's like that. He's
I
funny,
get
he's
real
funny.
sassy when people say that.
But yeah, again,
like
we're
that.
ending on a happy Women's Month. You
Yes.
know? Like,
Love
that's,
it.
As you should, man.
yeah.
All right, you guys. Well, that wraps up our Fumble Live. As usual, we'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Subscribe, tap the bell, share this video, give this a like, and we'll see you guys later. Bye.